In this thrilling moment, Lisa stepped on his hand while Shiva mysteriously pulled out the pillow latch, pinning the killer's hand to the car. They then rushed to the cliff's edge. With a sudden drift, Shiva and Lisa soared out like free birds as the car and killer luxuriously tumbled off the cliff. After taking care of the killer, they successfully arrived at the doorway of Brahman's grandfather, only to discover that this door had become the champion of the Moss Olympics, covered in moss. Shiva tried to sneak in and pry open the door, but during their chat, they didn't notice the killer had returned, reviving like an invincible zombie. With Lisa hanging by a thread behind the door, Shiva panicked and unleashed a burst of fiery power, erupting like a nationwide noodle live stream. The Brahmin master felt this immense energy as the flames surrounded their pursuer like a campfire party, and no matter how hard he struggled, it was futile. He was eventually sent off the cliff by Dharma's primal force. Along with him tumbled down his partner, and now Dharma was totally exhausted. The master rushed outside, as if he had just witnessed something. Suddenly, an unexpected power appeared. Dharma, unconscious, saw his mother's shadow in his dream, murky in the rain. In the dream, the gentle mother was engulfed in flames, with everything around a disaster scene, yet she remained unscathed like a heroine. Issa hurriedly asked the master, but he was absorbed by the Brahma fragments. Dharma felt power awakening within, as she noticed the stone statue again. After being pushed off the cliff, the witch remained unharmed, using armor for self-defense. A true fight and fury, exemplar. This chase ended in failure and cost them a member. The witch painfully pleaded the statue for more power and Brahma fragments. As a result, the statue revived once more, and the nearby powerful artifacts began to awaken. Dharma was startled awake and pushed the door open. She was stunned to see Brahmins meet up, each color a powerful artifact. Upon hearing of the doctor and artist's deaths, she was shocked, and disciples hastily gathered. With Brahma fragments stolen, Hanuman and Anta's powers fell into enemy hands. The Brahmins faced a heavier crisis. The master hoped Dharma would join them. Each Brahmin wielded a powerful artifact, and Dharma herself was like a living art. This sword of light was the master's artifact, but Dharma refused, not wanting that power, just an ordinary life. The master tried to persuade him, but he grabbed Issa's hand and prepared to leave. In a twist of fate, he unexpectedly learned about his parents while being the little orphan. His parents were actually Brahmins. Dharma was born a Brahmin. However, the master decided not to reveal details about his parents because he wasn't ready yet. So, Dharma stayed while Issa left. Maybe it was for the best. Dharma and his fellow newbies began training under the master. Each one had their unique artifact, but to unleash their powers, they first needed to wake up. However, Dharma still had no idea how to wake up the power inside him. One day, while he was happily dreaming away, he sensed the witch again. She tossed necklaces, controlling the ensnared, prompting Gast's ultimate puppet. Soon, a bizarre puppet army emerged. Meanwhile, Issa appeared in his dream, returning to Dharma's, clutching her mother's keepsake. Another hunter approached. Issa leaped out the window. Despite the hunter's pursuit, she remained calm. Brahmin disciples had already ambushed. Suddenly, a divine whip descended, ensnaring the hunter. The others attacked with their artifacts, but surprisingly, the hunter's armoring absorbed it all. This was Lord Nandi, the artist's artifact, the Grandmaster's mount. They couldn't match him even together. The hunter summoned the holy cow's incense and dashed out of the encirclement, while Issa was caught in the chaos. Dharma hurriedly ran to the signal point to make a call. This could be bad. Thankfully, Issa was fine with minor injuries. Dharma was overjoyed, tears streaming as flames erupted. It turned out her power was triggered once again, for whenever they were together, the flame of love sparked in their hearts. But Dharma feared fire. When heat surged, her heart felt aflame, ready to vanish. She believed she had unintentionally set her mother ablaze due to uncontrollable flames, thus feeling an instinctual fear of her own power. Those flames embodied both love and terror, and Dharma had to confront her fears. While the master didn't know the truth about her mother, he was sure the fire of love couldn't destroy anything. In fact, it was the purest force in existence. As her heart knots unraveled, Dharma opened up. The flames sprang back, dancing on her fingertips. They gleamed brilliantly as they spread, like courageous travelers venturing into the unknown, and under the meticulous training of the master. She had finally grasped the empty fire, yet she was still in the empty fire phase. Out of nowhere, a puppet controlled by the witch lunged at Dharma uncontrollably, drawn by the tiny flame in her hand. The man returned to calmness, realizing the gravity of the situation, as the master finally decided to share the story about Dharma's parents. Back in the day, the master was still a rookie, and the Brahmin HQ was not in the Himalayas, but on a tiny island. Back then, Brahmin was not just fragments, he was a complete being. A genius emerged from the Brahmin charts. While ordinary people only possessed one artifact, he had a whole bunch, an astonishing fact indeed. He relentlessly collected artifacts for his magical outfits. Then, as the strongest Brahmin, his flames outshone all other magic. Known as the Fire King, wielding countless artifacts, he gradually turned his sights on Brahmin, conquering all Brahmins. He seized the perfect Brahmin, awakening it for the first time, oceans churning, earth trembling. The worlds couldn't handle Brahmin's power. The carrier of water god strength, Ganyu, came to battle. They fought for 3 days and nights. In the end, Ganyu extinguished his flames, shattered Brahmin, and sank the island, leaving one artifact alive. He only returned with 2 Brahmin fragments, the rest vanished, leaving Brahmin incomplete forever. Ganyu and the Fire King similarly vanished during that time. The Brahmins believed they had perished together, ultimately burying them along with the island until Dharma's arrival. Yes, Ganyu and the Fire King were lovers. Amid the war, she found she was pregnant, one pursued dreams, the other duties. Ganyu ultimately survived and gave birth to Dharma, and at the moment of his birth, everything seemed to change dramatically. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. We'll bring you more exciting content.